That really is making me feel ill right now. No, I don't want that. No, don't fetch the arm. No. No.
What a good dog.
I don't get it. I don't want it. So, Arizona Sunshine. This is a game I didn't think I'd be covering, and if you follow me on Twitter, which you probably don't because I never promote my Twitter, but that link will be in the description if you're interested, I guess, you'll know that I didn't get a key for this game. At least at the time of writing on my last tweet, I didn't. And that wasn't, you know, pushing the devs to give me one or anything. I was just having a conversation with another VR content creator about the key situation and whether they had got one. And it turns out I got one yesterday, as of the time you're watching this, I think. So I haven't had time to play around with all of Arizona Sunshine in its full potential. I've only played around 2 hours, which I think, from what it says on the PlayStation page of the game, is 40% through the game. That little progress counter, that percentage it has, it says 40%. I'm unsure if that's completely accurate, but that's the number that it's showing me right now. Anyway, yeah, that's why I simply haven't had time to play through the entire game. However, I have played enough to get to grips with a lot of the systems that the game offers, the way it looks, the way it plays, and how I'm genuinely feeling about it as a game that is quite expensive for PSVR. It's £40, that's a lot of money, and it's more money than a lot of other games on the platform right now, and we're getting into the higher echelons of AAA VR prices here. We're not quite at the level of Horizon Call the Mountain or Resi 4 or Resi 8, but we're getting there, we're getting very close, and is Arizona Sunshine 2 worth that price point? For me, I'd say maybe. There's some really, really good stuff here, like really damn good stuff that a lot of people will enjoy immensely, but personally there are a few things that bog down the game for me. But I think for the vast majority of people who are going into this game for a linear story, where you have a friend that's a dog that can be played in co-op, where you massacre tons and tons of zombies from one set piece to another, I think people are going to be happy with it. I'm so happy you can pet the dog in this game. Oh my god. Best game, immediately. Holy fuck. That's ridiculously brutal. I don't know if I can monetize this. Oh my god. But with that all being said, let's get into some of the things I absolutely adore about Arizona Sunshine 2 and some of the caveats that I've found while playing it. Okay, let's start with one of the easiest things that I can talk about with Arizona Sunshine 2. The visuals. Visually, this game looks amazing in most cases because of its lighting. Its lighting really works wonders, and originally I wasn't that blown away when I saw its vistas for the first time, but as I played on, the scenarios kept getting better and better with the lighting design in this game, especially in the indoor areas, making it feel quite real. Like, genuinely, the game looks impressive. I wasn't sold at first, but I am now. The models also look great individually, like guns and body parts and different things you pick up. They all look great, don't get me wrong, and the zombies also look amazing. However, the textures do feel a little bit muddy in the distance sometimes, and you can definitely notice that there's no active foveated rendering. I don't think there's any eye tracking implemented into this game really, because of the engine that it's built in, and that does hinder the visuals a little bit. Not by loads, but you can tell that this game would look so damn sharp if that was implemented, but I'm not putting that on the devs. I don't think it's really that easy at all to implement it into the engine they're using for this game, so I will give them a bit of a pass on that one. But yeah, most of the time the game does look pretty damn good. It's just a little bit of the aliasing going on in the far or middle distance. This is clear, don't get me wrong. Over there isn't at all. And I think that's intentional, but it doesn't feel like a 3D backing, it feels flat. What I do have to talk about though is the gore and the guts and the blood, and the thing that's probably going to get this video demonetized. The visuals in the combat, because the gore in this game is nuts. The amount of bodies on screen at one time is more than I've seen in any other PSVR2 game, I think. These just don't seem to really despawn. I kept trying to push the game's boundaries further and further with how many zombies I could get to pile on top of each other when they were dead. It's a ridiculous amount, and I do have to admit though I have run into 2 crashes while I was playing this game, and that's about from 2 hours of playtime. Although this probably will get a day 1 patch, I'm hoping, although it does come out tomorrow as of the time of recording this, so I don't know, but I just want to put that out there. I've crashed twice in my 2 hours of playtime, but that was pushing the boundaries very much so, but that wasn't really going out my way to do so. I was just kind of luring zombies towards me, and they naturally stacked up, and I was kind of seeing how many I could get to stack up on each other. So it's something that you could very easily stumble across that could cause a crash, if that's causing a crash in that case. Hence why I do have a lot of other footage that got lost, unfortunately, because it didn't save the footage and corrupted it when the game crashed.
Like, there is some jank like that, but it, oh fuck, and that, but it genuinely is fun. God, and the amount of bodies on screen, I cannot, there's no other PSVR2 game that really has this many interacting bodies in it.
Right, moving on from visuals, let's talk gameplay, because gunplay is the easiest one of the gameplay lot to talk about, so let's start with that too, and it feels great. It feels like After the Fall, and a lot of the guns are similar, I think, to After the Fall. The sound design is great. It's consistent with both of these games, and if you're playing on the easier difficulties, I think it assists you with headshots, meaning that you can line it up and take out zombies from very far away. I was playing on a mix of easy and medium. I did play through the start of the game again on medium to see what the difficulty spike was like, but I really didn't have that much time to record, so I jumped in on easy just to kind of speed things along for the story, but then, of course, went and replayed in medium just to see if there was too much difference. For me, there wasn't. It seemed to assist you a little bit with headshots, but that made it feel so much better. It's so satisfying taking your head off a walker from a while away, using deagles, using Tommy guns, using shotguns. It's awesome.
Bye, bro. Oh my god, half your head is gone. There's no way this is monetized, is it? Not with what I've just done there. Holy fuck.
And they feel similar to the After the Fall guns, and I think some of the models are even reused here. That's not a criticism, really. The gun looks different, but all I'm thinking of is the main Tommy gun for Arizona Sunshine 2 works identically to the Tommy gun that can be found in After the Fall, although their models look a little bit different. Fundamentally, they work the same, so if you're used to After the Fall guns, it's going to feel incredibly similar in Arizona Sunshine 2. Their systems are pretty much identical, just with Arizona having the better sound effects, in my opinion, and having the better visual effects, because the guns feel absolutely great to use here. Basically, no notes from me.
I really want to just see what this does as well, so... Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh my god.
Melee is also pretty fun. Your melee weapons can break fairly easily, but it's fun to lop off zombies' heads, and if you find one, it'll probably carry you through a fair bit of the level if you decide to use it, and it's, yeah, pretty satisfying.
Just one fucking
This is so satisfying.
What you got on your wrist there, guy?
Oh shit.
Huh?
You also have your dog, which aids in gameplay, which can open different parts of the level for you, can take out enemies, and it creates some really good dynamic moments where the dog is jumping up and taking out an enemy while you're running up and shooting others that are around you. The dog can be a little janky sometimes though. It does follow your commands basically to a T, but especially when trying to play fetch with it, it was a little rough sometimes. The pathfinding seemed to mess up, but apart from that, dog is good. I like dog.
Go get it.
Go get it.
Well, you're going over there. That's fine. That's not where I put it. But fair enough.
I do have to say though, I did have some issues with jank in this game, and essentially this came in the form of picking up objects, because I found that angles to pick up objects with my hands were slightly annoying. It was really awkward. I had to point my hands in really weird places to try and pick up objects in certain cases, and especially objects that would be near the ground. If I drop a magazine and go to pick it up, then I would point towards the ground, and sometimes it wouldn't align properly, even though I felt like it should align properly. It was a little bit frustrating, especially in combat situations, sometimes with that. But it was pretty much most of the time okay. There's just a bit of jank there, and I also have to mention strafing and turning speed, which made me feel kind of nauseous. It seemed like the speed for strafing and turning differed based on where you're looking, which is weird. Sometimes when I was looking down, strafing felt slow, and then when I would look up, it would gradually speed up or quickly speed up, and it made me feel a little bit sick. What I want is a consistent turning speed in VR games, but I'm turning smoothly. And the default option, at least for this game, and I couldn't find an option to really change it, is that it kind of speed ramps whenever it wants, and that makes me feel like I'm pretty dizzy, and I never really get nauseous in VR, but this managed to somehow do it. It wasn't awful nausea, but I'm assuming if you're not really that used to VR, you might feel it quite a lot. So maybe stick to snap turning for this one if you haven't got your VR legs. And even if you have got your VR legs, be a bit wary and maybe take some breaks, because personally, it affected me a fair bit during my playtime with Arizona. I gotta talk about writing too, because that's not really something I cover that often in games like this on PSVR 2. The story here and the writing for the story and the dialogue in particular, I was a little worried about when seeing the first trailers. Unfortunately, my suspicions are kind of confirmed with how the writing is. It's overly edgy, I didn't find it that funny, and to be honest, I found it a little bit annoying. But you can kind of ignore it, you can just go about the game and probably be fine with it, but just be aware if you didn't like the dialogue in the trailer, you won't like at least the first 2 hours of dialogue in the game at all. But the story itself is fairly simplistic but does the job. It's completely fine, to be honest, but the dialogue itself, I really wasn't a fan of. Some people will be, but I personally just wasn't. The setting and spectacle are pretty cool though. It does utilize Arizona as a setting very well, at least in the first 2 hours, taking you through airports, sewers, the overground, the underground, and showing you a bunch of stuff like helicopters crashing, different vehicles moving around. It's a lot of stuff to take in, and I'm sure they set up these set pieces meticulously and they paid off, at least for me. They all landed fairly well. So the set pieces and the spectacle gets a thumbs up from me. I really enjoyed seeing some of these throughout the first couple hours of the game.
Straight, Fred. No falling asleep at the wheel down there.
Are they gonna climb up here, or is it just... Oh no, they're getting fucking run over now.
Hey, don't mind us, Freddy's just passing through.
Holy shit.
I do want to also mention that I was a fan of the interaction a lot of the time, even though sometimes picking up objects felt a little janky. The process of getting there was janky, but once I had them picked up and I was interacting with the environment, I had a couple moments with this game where it felt like Half-Life Alyx in terms of interaction, and I really loved it. All the environmental objects that you expect to be interactable are, and I absolutely love that in VR games. If you get a kick out of exploring the environment and just messing about with items, and really feeling immersed in VR through that way and through that avenue, you're gonna love your time here, I think. I really think you are, because there's so much to explore and play with.
Oh, see, interaction like that really makes me happy. Like, that's like Half-Life Alyx
but definitely not the best.
levels.
However, that alone is conflicted with the fact that some of these systems just don't work quite as well as I'd love them to for this game to be really S tier for me. For now, it might be sitting around A. I really appreciate what they've done, especially in the first couple hours that I played for this game, but some of the systems really need ironed out. I think this could really be pushed to S if some of those interactions and some of those different mechanics that were janky for me were boosted up and the crashes were sorted and some of those different pathfinding issues with the dog were sorted. This could be S for me, but right now I think it's sitting at A, and don't get me wrong, that's really good. I really enjoy my time with Arizona Sunshine. I just want to warn you of some of the caveats that I found with it. But if you're the average consumer, if the crashes get sorted, I think you'll absolutely love this one. If you're a fan of the first especially, and games are so much more fun in co-op, and I'm sure this one will be so much fun in co-op too, because games, and especially VR games, always are. Anyway, those are my first impressions of Arizona Sunshine from about 40% way through the story of the game. I did enjoy my time with this one, I really did. I tried to make it so that this video conveys to you how I felt in terms of my mixed feelings on certain systems in the game, but also overall really enjoyed my time with the game. If you enjoyed the first one, you're gonna like the second one. It's an improvement in pretty much every department, with good gunplay, pretty damn good visuals, good interaction, and fun to kill enemies. But there are a few flaws, and I wanted to present that in this video, so I hope that got across clearly to you guys. Anyway, thank you all for watching. If you did enjoy, please feel free to like and subscribe, and I hope to see you all in the next video, because it's going to be a busy week for PSVR2. Please pray for me, I have so many videos to do. Anyway, see you in the next one.
Please let me push this over the edge. This feels very wrong, but I'm gonna... Thanks, Devs. That was fun. I enjoyed that.